I was invited to become a member in the late 70s and served on the Public Relations Committee and the Guest Relations Committee. And in the late 80s, I became a board member and served on the board for 5 or 6 years, I believe. And then I was elected big boss in the 92-93 year.
The history of the Silver Spurs, as I know it, started off well over 50 years ago. It was set up by some local ranching families that they decided to, it was during World War II, and they were trying to find out a way that they personally could help out in the war efforts. So they decided to hold a rodeo, and the price of admission was a war bond.
The Silver Spurs actually got its beginning in 1941 when a group of Osceola County ranchers loaded up their horses and trailers and made the trip to Tallahassee to participate in the inauguration parade of the newly elected Governor Spessard Holland. They were a hit and warmly received, and word of this group rapidly spread, and they were asked to participate in events throughout the state. And that was the beginning of the Silver Spurs Club. In 1944, they held their first rodeo, and it was in the Parton pasture, and it was the ranching family's way of contributing to the war effort. So admission to the rodeo was the purchase of a war bond. And from there, for the next 8 decades, they have continued to produce nationally acclaimed performances. And one of the things that they did that's very unique to the Silver Spurs is they choreographed a square dance on horseback known as the quadrille. And today they are still doing the square dance on horseback, and it is performed by 4th and 5th generation riders from the original riders, and it is still a crowd pleaser, and it always concludes with the breathtaking figure 8.
Well, when I was big boss, it was in the old-timey arena. Back at that time, the city of Kissimmee's, their football field was the arena, and for years and years they kind of helped keep the arena, the bleachers in the arena up a little bit, and it had lapsed in years past. They got where they wasn't doing as much, and it was costing a lot of money to keep that building up.
You know, the Silver Spurs for years had a huge stadium that the local football team, Osceola High School, used to play football in, and it was costing us a lot of money to keep up. So the group that I was in with, the board of directors, we were the ones that kind of laid the plans for the new facility that we have now. The Silver Spurs, while it's a rodeo and it's entertainment, it was set up solely to help out. Originally it was to help out with the war. But we have donated many funds throughout the community for years.
Silver Spurs has had a tremendous economic impact on the community. They host thousands of visitors every year to their annual events. But it's not just the economic impact that the Silver Spurs has had. They provide scholarships to graduating seniors. They participate in the Heroes in Horses, in the Florida Hospital breast cancer research.
At the Kissimmee Sports Arena that Gary Sewell owns, we buck out a lot of stock there. That's where we try a lot out.
I've been open. I opened the place in, I think it was 1992, and my son and my daughter both high school rodeo and junior rodeo association. The reason I built it because they really didn't have a place to practice. I mean, you got all kinds of little league fields and all that stuff. I told my wife, I said, I'm gonna build a practice arena for them youngins. And she said, all right. So anyway, I got down here and got started building it. And I just, you know, I like the sport and never done it myself. I mean, never rode nothing but anyway, on purpose.
My dad and my mom knew many of the members, and since we were at the rodeo working, eventually we got invited to join, and my mom helped run the souvenir stand for a while. My dad helped out with the parking, and then he also helped out with cooking for the concession stands.
I help in the concession stand, and we either cook pop popcorn, and make nachos. Many, many nachos. Moved here with Walt Disney World, and I immediately, well, the children got in school, and I got involved with community and church, and then I met my best girlfriend, Tootsie Whaley.
So tell us what you do at the Silver Spurs.
I work in the concession stand. I live in the concession stand.
So why don't you go ahead and tell me what you know about the Silver Spurs Rodeo?
Well, I know it is very entertaining. There's lots of stuff that you can do there. There's concession stands. There's 7 events in the rodeo. There's 4 timed events and 3 rough stock events. The 4 timed events are team roping, barrel racing, tie-down roping, and steer wrestling. The 3 rough stock events are bull riding, saddle bronc riding, and bareback riding.
Miss Silver Spurs began in 1960. And through the years, it has encouraged young women to be good role models of their community, but most of all to educate people on the history of our community, the history of the ranchers and the families, the history of the sport of rodeo, and to educate them too on animal welfare and the safety of the animals during the rodeo.
Hi, I'm Raylan Kempfer. I'm a 6th generation Florida rancher. The Silver Spurs has been a big part of our life. With our family, we've raised bucking bulls for them, and then we help with the special rodeo, which is where we reenact some rodeo events for kids.
We have evolved. You know, we've evolved from polyester pantsuits and silk gloves into prairie dresses, into leather dresses with lots of bling, into now, which is fashion forward. And fashion forward teaches the girls to dress personally, better themselves on a day-to-day basis, not just for a pageant. You know, we've been working for years to teach girls that the pageant is not about the beauty. It's about the personal preparation, getting yourself ready for life.
There's a lot of these youngins that come along in the PRCA and Stedler. That Kaylee Bass, for example, she was going into the national finals that last year. She was #1 in the world in barrel racing. And she started out here when she was about 8 and just kept getting better and better at it. And Caleb Sanderson, who was the PBR, in the PBR, he was here every Friday night. He was always here, and he started out riding sheep and then went to junior bulls and then the big bulls. And so anyway, he made it to PBR, and he won the average in Vegas. But anyway, that's part of the reason why I built it. Been doing it about, I guess, 24 years now, something like that. I still enjoy it.
I think that their future impact is very much the same. They will continue to offer nationally recognized events that will draw thousands of visitors to our community. And they will continue to participate in activities that improve the lives of our citizens and participate in programs that give people a hand up.